What's up, everybody? It's Sam. Oh man, here we go. Just playing. What is up, everybody? Welcome to Trace Trades. We give technical analysis of different stocks in the stock market, as well as potential buy, hold, or sell opinions on these given stocks. I'm going to preface by saying that I'm not a financial advisor nor expert, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Let's get into the video. Today, my friends, we're going to be showing you guys ticker symbol RKT, Rocket Companies from the New York Stock Exchange. Man, this has been a controversial stock. I see a lot of different opinions flying out there, and I figured that I would tell you what I think of this stock. To be completely blunt with you and completely honest, I think you're getting a mixed bag of different things happening. I think one, you've got some bots that are pushing this thing on different Reddit threads, trying to convince you to sell your GameStop at AMC to get into RKT, right? As you can see right now, I do have a position in RKT, but let me also show you that I have my full position at AMC. Nothing has changed in the least bit, and I do not think that you need to sell out of your AMC or GameStop in order to get into RKT, right? But I do think there is some validated points here with RKT, and I would not be talking about this otherwise. As you guys know, I do not like chasing stocks. I would not buy into a stock if I think that it's got no upside remaining, because I don't like screwing people, right? But I've done a little bit of digging thanks to a Reddit user who I watched on another YouTube video here recently. He put together some awesome DD, and I'm going to break into that with you guys and show you why I think this actually has some decent potential for a short-term squeeze, a short-term upside, right? So I did take a position in this stock. I'm going to show you guys my account here really quick. You can see that I've already made a pretty decent amount of money on this. My total profit loss is $795, and my total profit right now is $417. So I made a pretty decent amount of money off of this stock so far, and I still think that it's got upside, which is why I'm talking about it here on the channel today. So we're gonna go over the fundamentals of the company, the why. Why is this not a dead cat? Not a dead cat. Not a dead cat. Not a dead cat, baby. But anyways, I'm gonna show you why I think this is not a dead cat, why this still has remaining upside, some due diligence that's been thrown together, some short interest numbers, the utilization according to Ortex, some institutional ownership that is really significant, right? We've got a lot to talk about, so let's just get into the video. We're going to finish off with the charts as well, try and show you guys the best possible entry points. The indicators that I've got pulled up are the RSI, Relative Strength Index. Anything over 70 is overbought, anything under 30 is oversold. Then I've got the 200 EMA, which is this purple trend line, and the 15-day MA, which is this blue trend line. 200 EMA is the exponential moving average. This is a price action-based valuation trend line over a 200-day moving period. It gives us a macroscopic perspective of price action. And the 15-day MA is the moving average. This is the price action-based valuation trend line over a 15-day moving period, which gives us a microscopic perspective of price action. We use all these different indicators and some different chart setups in order to give us the best possible entry points and exit points on this stock. I will not be holding this stock for very long. Maybe one day, maybe 2 days. I don't care if I'm leaving some bag on the table, right? Because this is not my primary focus. This is just having some fun along the way and having a blast with the journey. So let's get into the video. Now, I want to start off here and show you the short interest according to Fintel, right? We're going to get into the DD, the due diligence, the due diligence in a bit. So check out yesterday. Out of all the market volume we saw, 375 million, we actually saw 103 million total short volume, which is 28% of the total market volume on the day. Now look at the stock price action, right? All that short volume came in and it got gobbled up. It got eaten up. Didn't stand a chance against the green volume that came into this yesterday, which is significant. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, right? As long as those numbers are accurate, which take it with a grain of salt. We know that sometimes Fintel underreports their short interest, right? They may take the short interest volume or the short volume from one exchange and then the market volume from all exchanges. So that might even be lower than it actually is. But this catches my interest. Check this out. I'm going to update this just to make sure there's no update, available. But as of 41 minutes ago, all that's available to short is 2,000 total shares. That's insanity. That's absolutely crazy, guys. So if we were to come over here and I was to try and make a purchase, right? I'm going to say I'm going to purchase, $10. I'm going to do extended hours, right? Or 10 shares and limit hours. Check this out. Please choose your existing long positions of the security before placing. Okay, well, I did it yesterday. That's to test it out. And it would not even let me attempt to place a short order position. Not that I'd be interested in it, but I was curious to see since the short shares availability was so low, and it wouldn't even let me. It said, there are not enough short shares available for you to fill your order, which means this is being shorted to the max. It's being absolutely killed right now. And they're getting eaten up. They're not winning this fight, which means in the short term, this is still a live ball, right? The shorts they haven't covered. They haven't covered. There's only 2,000 total short shares available as of right now on this stock. Now, how is this compared to the overall, market cap? The outstanding shares, right? How many shares are typically on this stock? Well, if we pull up Market Watch, we can see the overall the overall, outstanding shares, the float, the whole 9 yards here, we can see that the shares outstanding is 100 million, and then we've got a public float of 108 million. Whoa, well, hang on a second. We've got a higher public float than we do shares outstanding. More market manipulation, guys. Crazy stuff. Check this out. I've got Ortex pulled up, and I've got some different numbers. Utilization, 95.1%. And let this be an indicator of where AMC could possibly go. I've been saying this till I was blue in the freaking face. AMC can very, very easily do what Rocket is doing right now, because we've got even higher utilization on AMC than we do on Rocket. But nonetheless, that is an extremely high utilization rate. Now, what does that mean? What is this utilization? This refers to, and you can pause the video if you want to read it, this refers to the total lendable shares that are available to short. 0% means that no shares have been lent. 100% means that all available shares have been lent. So that number is extremely high, right? It's down a little bit from 7 days ago, but I would anticipate that is because some shorts have covered their positions, but obviously not a lot of them, because we still have only 2,000 total short shares available on the stock. That's big numbers. This is really crazy. That's an insane number. The days to cover on loan, days to cover is the short interest divided by the 3-month average volume, right? The 6.75 is an insanely high days to cover. That's astronomical. This basically is saying that it is incredibly difficult right now for shorts to cover their position and come out profitable, which makes it a huge bull case. This is a big bullish sign. Cost to borrow. Check this out. How much does it cost to borrow right now on a short position? 59.39% as of 12 hours ago. That is huge. And that interest rate continues to go up the more risky it is for shorts to hold a position in a stock, right? 59.39%. Huge numbers. Now get this. This was thrown together. I'm not this intelligent. This was thrown together by somebody on Reddit, right? And I want to give credit where credit's due. He is called The Big Short, _big_short_ 2020. He was on a podcast with somebody on YouTube explaining the situation. I watched it, and I was very intrigued because I saw this as an opportunity to scalp the stock. I thought, you know what? I'm going to ride some little, waves. On my lunch break, I went and I got on my phone. I made a couple bucks on my, I was on the toilet, 10-15 minutes, made a couple bucks, right? I did that about 3 times throughout the day. And I got home from work, and some people were talking about Rocket. We talked about Rocket on my live stream, and I was like, you know what? This might actually have some more upside. So we did some digging, and I completely am on board with what is being talked about here on this stock. And you know what? There are guys out there on the channel who've been telling me RKT was going to do some crazy stuff, and I brushed it off. And that was, honestly, my friends, I wish I would have listened to you. I had a position in this probably 3 days ago, and I let her go. But I'm going to hold this. I'm going to hold this for a little while here, at least a day, possibly 2 days, and we're going to show you why. So I'm going to point out the crucial information here. If you want to check this out, go to Reddit. All you got to do is type in the_big_short_ 2020. You'll find his post. He's putting a lot of time into this DD, and he also he knows his stuff. So let's start off with this. Institutional ownership. We've got 103.51%, which is 119 million total shares that institutions own. 373 of these. How is this possible? How can they own more shares that are actually available to the public? Well, this would actually explain why, we've got the public float, which is higher than the shares outstanding. That could be a piece of the puzzle here. Well, how is this possible? It's possible because these same institutions that are going long on a company could also be going short. And he explains this in the article. So who is shorting the stock? The investors shorting RKT are the same investors who are long RKT. The institutional investors. Shorting the stock is a method that allows institutions to buy more shares at a much lower price, right? So these institutions that are long on the stock, they can take a short position still if they'd like, drive the price down so they can purchase more shares at that cheaper price, cover, rides back up, short the stock again, right? Goes back down, they buy more shares, cover, rinse and repeat. They're double dipping. They're making a crap ton of money. Get ready for when the rocket goes to the moon. And that's just one piece of the puzzle here. So this talks a lot about some manipulation that's been taking place. You see this shakeout, right? So what's been happening, and he shows this in a chart setup here in a bit, is these institutions have been riding this up and down, this instability for about a year. So if we look at this on a 1-year chart, you can see that it hasn't done much of anything since it IPO'd. So if we look at the maximum chart here, right, you can see back in 2020 is when this IPO'd, it would have been August 31st, 2020. Not much has happened since then, right? It's been pretty quiet. It's been up and down, up and down. And that's because institutions saw a lot of potential here and they manipulated the stock. And I see, in my Discord especially, somebody addressed the fact that, hey, unless you've got, direct news catalyst, and I don't blame them. This makes total sense. If you don't have direct news catalysts talking about why this should go up, don't buy it because it had a double downgrade by analysts. We're going to address that as well. So manipulation, right? We've seen this take place with AMC. We've seen that there's the potential for creating more shares, synthetic shares that shouldn't exist in order to drive the price action down. It causes a shift in supply and demand, right? So that's a piece of the puzzle here. Jim Cramer has talked about this on a YouTube video. I really, really highly recommend you check that out if you want to understand the manipulation that can take place in the market. He's seen it firsthand. He knows what he's talking about. So check this out. This is how they've been doing it, right? This is previous year price action. They drive the price down through shorting. They scoop it up, runs back up, so pushes it back down. And this just looks like the normal ebbs and flows of the market. However, it's not. This is manipulation because this is a good company. This genuinely is. I'm not going to be holding it for the long term right now. I've got other stocks that I want to focus on, but I am going to be holding it for the short term because I do think it's got short term potential to squeeze more than it already has. Now, I'm going to scroll down here and just find the next pieces that I wanted to talk about. Institutions paint a doom and gloom picture of RKT while buying more shares behind the scenes. This is what I wanted to address next. Mentioned in the Financial Post article is how analysts attempt to manufacture negative narratives about a stock in order to push the stock down further for accumulation at discounted pricing, right? We've seen this take place with AMC and GameStop. All over the media and news, you see AMC's a crap show, GameStop's a crap show. If you buy these, you don't know what you're doing. You're gonna be a bag holder, yada, 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 yada. We've seen the whole 9 yards here. But at the same time, you see institutions that are buying into the stock, right? How does it make sense that on Ortex, we look over here at Ortex, right? And take a peek at AMC's, for instance, analyst ratings. We've got 5 hold and 4 sell ratings. I'd be willing to bet you money that RKT looks pretty similar. RKT, 9 hold ratings, 2 sell ratings, 4 buy ratings. We just barely have some buy ratings here. It's definitely outweighed by the holds and the sells. So it's the same premise here. You've got a bunch of different analysts that are basically underestimating this stock. And that comes back to this. They do this because sometimes the media and the institutions can work side by side in tandem in order to drive prices down so institutions can get their meat and potatoes, right? They can take the money, redistribute wealth back to the 1% away from the 99. This is a way for them to manipulate the stock price so they can make money while you're too scared to get into the stock, right? So take that for what it is. Isn't it odd that after Rocket's last earnings, which included a $1 billion buyback, revenue beat, EPS beat in a higher than expected guidance, analysts come out with downgrades on RKT. Not just a downgrade, but a double downgrade, which I'm addressing right now, right? I believe they did this to scare shareholders before RKT's much anticipated lockup expiration period. The double downgrade only caused the stock to go down 1% on that day, and the stock has since returned to higher levels. Why would JP Morgan give Rocket a double downgrade when its thesis is only improving? And what he's saying here, when the thesis is improving, earnings per share beat in a higher than expected guidance, right? So they had a $1 billion buyback, and we're going to address this in a little bit. I read this in this DD post, right? They only had $2 billion worth of shares available, so they bought back $1 billion of that. They decreased supply, which increases demand, right? That's going to decrease the overall float, so there's a higher potential for squeeze, right? They beat their earnings per share. There's so many good things happening here, and after they beat the EPS, you had a double downgrade from JP Morgan. Pretty goofy, and that tells you the whole story here, right? There's a lot of good things going on with RKT. We're going to keep scrolling down. If you want to check out this video, like I said, go check out this guy, the Reddit post. As I predicted, RKT, and I did not predict this, this is him. RKT leadership did not sell any of the stock. RKT leadership is even more bullish than the greedy institutions that are loading up on shares behind the scenes. One of those institutions is BlackRock, who disclosed that they have a pretty decent stake, 7% in the company as of the date of their filing, which is 8 million total shares. BlackRock is a good backed company. BlackRock, Vanguard, two of the companies that I pay the most attention to, they do not purchase into companies that they do not think has solid potential, right? And we're gonna pull up the RKT institutional ownership here in a second and see all the companies that are owning right now, but that's a big deal. They own 8 million shares. These guys don't gamble. They would not purchase a 7% ownership in a company that they did not think was going to go up. That's significant. That's a big piece of the puzzle. That's $160 million worth of shares. Very huge. What is an example of elder stock that has endured institutional manipulation similar to RKT? And that would be Facebook. So when Rocket Mortgage, when Rocket companies IPO, they didn't do much. They were flat. But you could think to yourself, okay, was that a letdown? Was that a letdown? I think of Facebook, and I think of the future of Airbnb. I think Airbnb is going to be another company that had kind of a flat IPO, didn't do much. Facebook didn't do much, right? We see it went up a huge amount. In fact, Facebook, according to this post, went up 1,700% from their IPO date, right? If you're taking the opportunity to purchase this back when it was at $17.48 from their IPO of $38, you'd be up an insane amount. So that same thing is happening here with RKT. They IPO. They've got a lot of good things going for their company. People got shilled. They said you got screwed. You're gonna be a bag holder. You're silly for buying into this stock, right? You're gonna get screwed. Meanwhile, you've got all these institutions, 103% institutional ownership. You've got BlackRock taking a huge stake here. You've got these same companies that are shorting the stock so they can increase their overall stake in the company, right? They're taking advantage of the fear. There's two main driving factors that drive the stock market. It's fear and greed, right? Fear is when people are scared, they get scared out of their money. Greed happens when a stock, and if you're going to come into this too, if you're missing out, when a stock is running up. Both of these things are taken advantage of by the purposeful planning of these institutions, right? They know it. They manipulate the market on purpose. How long will the manipulation last, right? Because Facebook took a long time. It took 18 months, according to this post, to finally reach its highs, to finally start moving. And he's basically saying he doesn't think it's going to last long. It's not going to take long. And he actually posted this a couple days before. Man, this dude is a wizard. He called it. He 100% called it. He said, I don't think it's going to take that long. I think it's going to happen much faster because we've got the internet. We've got a lot of people who will have availability to information now through sources like Reddit, through Discord, through Twitter, yada, 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 whatever it may be. And you see the beginning premise of what this could be. I know the next thing I'm going to talk about after we finish this is going to be, the institutional ownerships. But after that, right? Is this already over? Is this already over? Has the squeeze already been squozed? My answer to you is this. I do not believe so. And that is because we've got a huge amount of short shares still being held. The utilization is still really high. Short shares availability is still really low, right? And this could be, honestly, in my opinion, just a gamma squeeze. This could be the beginning of a gamma squeeze. If we look at the options, right? What are we seeing in terms of options on this stock? You don't even see strikes of $37 or higher. You can't even purchase these because this is so out of the realm of expectations that they anticipated. Check this out. Look at all these call options that came out on the 5th of March. Now check this out. If we go to the 12th of March, I wonder what you're going to see. Huge amounts of call options. Look at this. All the way up to $31, you've got a crazy amount of call options starting to flow into this. And this just started running up yesterday, right? So this I don't even think this has been short squeezed yet. I think it's been gamma squoze. I just feel weird saying that. I think it's been gamma squoze a little bit. And I still think there's upside remaining here. So I wanted to point that out. That's one thing that I think is important. So that's what he's talking about here. TLDR, why are we hearing so many negative narratives from the media? And this is really important. And other analysts on RKT, because they love the stock. Why is there such high ownership, 103%, combined with high short interest of 40% as of the date of this, right? As of the date of this, because they keep wanting to accumulate shares at lower prices. This is institutions' ploy to accumulate more shares because they know what rocket will moon. And when I say moon, I mean rocket will at least be a six-bagger in 10 years. The same happened with Facebook. RKT is still in the accumulation phase. Greedy institutions have been deploying this tactic for almost a century, but this time the tactic may blow up in their face. They got busted. They got caught red-handed. They got their hand in the cookie jar, caught pissing in the pond, right? Because of Reddit. Reddit did the same thing with GameStop. They did the same thing with AMC. They got caught off guard. Nobody was thinking about RKT. Nobody was. And this is where I see a lot of people saying, why even mention this? Why even mention RKT? This seems like it's just a distraction. And to some extent, I think it can be. I think if you're getting out of AMC to get into RKT, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. That's not the way to do it, right? This just because you enjoy Woodford Reserve doesn't mean you need to bust your bottle on the table just because all of a sudden somebody offers you some Jack Daniels, right? I can still have my bottle of Woodford Reserve. I can still hold on to that. I can still sip on it, but I can also sip on this bottle of Jack Daniels because they're both good whiskeys, right? They both treat me real good. They make me feel like a good man. And the same thing is happening here with RKT. This for me is an opportunity to have some fun in the stock market while AMC is developing into the monster that I think it is going to be, right? So you're seeing it happen before your eyes. We've got all the numbers that line up, and then you've got the potential for a Warren Buffett RKT partnership. That's a theory. I'm not even going to dive into that because that's just getting into the weeds. But the purpose being, right, for this stock, it has potential, right? And to address the double downgrade, you tell me if you think this is worth a double downgrade. I'm not even going to tell you what I think, because you should come to the same conclusion that I did. They've got Rocket Mortgage, they've got Amrock, which is a leading national provider of insurance, right? So they've got insurance companies, they've got two of those. They've got a technologies company, a fintech company, right? So they're dabbling in, the blockchain, the cryptocurrency. That's a huge piece as well. They've got Lendesk, right? A suite of products that digitize and simplify the Canadian mortgage experience. They've got Edison Financial, a digital mortgage, right? They've got a whole bunch of plethora of companies at their disposal. Rocket Homes, for sale by owner. Rocket Auto, they're trying to get into the auto industry, right? So they've got so many, in terms of, tech leaders, right? You've got Tesla. In terms of company leaders, such as, mortgages, fintech, auto, to me, Rocket seems like it's going to be a leader. They've got Rocket Loans. They've got Rocket Auto. They've got media, core digital media, lowermybills.com. Look at all these different services these guys offer. Honestly, if you want to have your mind blown at a company that is doing it, this is it. Rocket is doing it. This is crazy. I see absolutely no reason in the least bit they should be getting slammed with this double downgrade by JP Morgan. And if you look at their team, I'm going to find this very interesting. Let's check out their leadership. You've got Bob Walters, Jay Farner, Julie Booth, Brian Brown, Trina Scott, and Angelo Vitale. It's probably worth checking out what these guys have done in the past. So Jay Farner is vice chairman, yada, yada, yada. He serves as the CEO. He joined Rock Financial, the company that would ultimately become Rocket Mortgage, in 1996. So he's been around for a long time working on this. This is one particular guy. Basically founded Rock Financial. He was a piece of that puzzle that started to establish that company. So that's Jay Farner. And you can take the time to dive into each of their stories here. I'm not going to waste a bunch of time on that, but I truly do think that there's opportunity here. And that is why I've got a position in this stock right now with 165 shares at $38.80, right? This has not been short squeezed yet. It is not. There's no possible way, with that kind of short interest still remaining, that this is over. There's not any possible way. I am going to be holding a position here. I would anticipate for at least today, possibly in tomorrow. I'm going to watch the price action very, very closely. But this kid's got some extreme short-term potential, which is why I'm making this video on it. And I know I'm going to get flack. I'm going to get people that are saying, how could you talk about RKT? How could you cheat on our baby AMC, Amy? Dude, I'm not cheating on Amy. We've still got our position Rocket and AMC. I've still got my 1,400 shares. I've been adding to it every single day. 1,500 shares, actually. I've been adding to it every single day. And Rocket Mortgage is an opportunity to have some fun in the market while you're waiting for that to play out and develop. So that's what I'm doing here. What are you looking at in terms of a technical setup, right? We've got the 15 MA way hooked away from the 200 EMA, which implies an increase in volatility, right? We've got, I would anticipate even more volatility to come than this. Huge, insane pump in volume, which drives that volatility. Without the volume, you're not going to have the volatility, and it was green volume nonetheless. Even though over a quarter of the volume that came in was short volume, this still got hammered. You still see this hammered away, and there are still short positions that haven't closed on this. In fact, they've been doubling down. You see short positions that have been established as of yesterday, even though it was driving like crazy volatility. And the RSI currently sitting at 64. It's having a little bit of a micro pullback right now. I got my shares filled at about $38.80, as you can see right here. And I'll tell you what, I will be adding to my position if this continues to do what it's doing right now, because this has some crazy upside potential. What should you look for in terms of an entry point? This is going to be very, very hard to predict. Very hard to predict. If you can buy into this in the 39 mids range, I think you're going to sit pretty well. But I want to urge you, if you want to take a position in this stock, I need you to promise me that you're going to be able to watch the stock price like a hawk, because I'll tell you what, if this drops below my entry point of $38.80, what am I going to do? I'm going to sell and reestablish at the bottom. I'm going to watch very close, because the volatility on this stock is going to be crazy. When the volume's pumping, you saw we moved in an hour from $29.57 up to $35 in an hour. So you got to be watching really closely, because it's going to be volatile. So please stay away from this if you are not comfortable with the volatility, if you can't handle the ups and downs, right? I understand that. That's tough. You need to be able to watch this closely, or have a trailing stop loss set, or some price alert set, whatever it may be. But the best possible entry point right now is at this level of support at $39.50. If you can get it there, you're going to be pretty freaking safe. However, this has run up a lot. It's run up an insane amount. If we drop a Fibonacci retracement from this peak right here, you can see it's retraced at 50%. It gave back 50% of that initial run up to $48.64. However, that to me is going to act as a level of resistance. You're going to see that act as a level of resistance. I am almost willing to guarantee you we're going to retest that here today. Currently sitting at $40.27 in the pre-market, doing a little bit of a stair step down. It's retracing, but it's holding better. It's still setting higher lows and higher highs, and you can see that right here, right? You can see that we are building an upward trend line. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touch points, setting higher lows and higher highs. You've got this shooting star hammer candle, which indicates that there's some weak selling pressure, strong buying pressure, right? This to me, you can see that we're starting to slow that down and it's starting to bottom out. This to me looks like a little bit of a cup and handle formation. You've got a cup right here, right? You got that big dip followed by the handle. This would be the handle. That is typically a sign of an upcoming rocket. I'm not even trying to pun this, but this thing looks like it's just going to go to the moon. I've got absolutely nothing but good things to say about how this is shaping up right now, and that is what I have for the video today. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like. It really does help support the channel, and consider subscribing if you see more content like this. Lastly, I have an affiliate link in the description box down below for Webull. This is version 4 for the desktop. Great platform that allows you to start trading at 4 a.m. in the pre-market. If you use my link, you get 2 free stocks with a $100 deposit. I'll receive a free stock. Greatly support the channel, my friends. And if you're not interested, it's totally fine. I just appreciate your support by taking the time to watch my videos. I also have a link in the description box for the Discord if you'd like to check that out. It'll bring you over to the Patreon page. There's a link on the welcome page. You pay $5 a month for the cheapest plan. You get in with a great community of investors. They'll help you out a lot more than I can. There's a lot of intelligent people in there. Honestly, some more intelligent than I am by far, right? And I've got a link to the merch store if you'd like to buy a Gorilla Gang mug or a shirt, whatever it may be. That is what I've got for you guys today. So thank you for watching the videos, my friends, and I will see you all next time. Peace.